Keep watching The Politics every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Welcome to Talking Politics this Friday the 13th. There will not be a black cat crossing my path today, but I expect to have a great show today. I am Robert Press, your host. I'm a reporter for the Bronx Chronicle, my New York press card here. I also write for the Co-op City News, the Parkchester Times, and the Parkchester Times, like this show, is owned by Muslim Media Corporation. Let me just get into the weather today, as today looks like a nice day, getting up into the low 60s. However, as we've had the past few weeks, Saturday looks like it's going to be raining most of the day. Shouldn't be much of an accumulation. The weather will be in the mid 50s, so the heat will be on in those apartment buildings. And sunny on Sunday, maybe getting up to about 60. There is a lot of things going on in the world today and in the local community here in District 13 where I am at. The Middle East conflict, what can I say? Israel has been fighting ever since its birth in 1947, which happened after World War II. The Jewish people were given the land of Israel as a homeland, which was their original place. They've had wars every few years. The last big war was the Yom Kippur War. That was 50 years ago. And it was to the day of the attack of the Hamas terrorists who have gone in. They went to a show where they killed hundreds of people. They took hostages. There are dozens of Americans that have either been killed or taken hostage. These people have killed babies. They beheaded babies. Then they killed the families. Israel is doing the only thing it can do by protecting its people and attacking Hamas back. Unfortunately, this is what happens. We see this where when wars start, you have to counter attack. That's why we had the Cold War many years ago. The Russians and the United States were building up missiles. So if one struck, the other would strike, and that would be it, World War III. I hope this is not going to lead to World War III. I mean, we see in the Ukraine situation what's happening in the Ukraine, and hopefully, peace can break out. But again, if Israel gives into Hamas and says, okay, let's stop the fighting right now, who's to say that it's not going to start next month, next year again by Hamas with their first strikes? Into the House of the Congress, the Speaker of the House. A new speaker was picked, Steve Scalise, but apparently he has resigned as speaker for something he has said in the past. And it looks like the new Speaker of the House, once they get back to vote, will be Jim Jones from Ohio. So hopefully, and right now there is an interim speaker. I don't know his name offhand, but hopefully the House can get get back to doing the work of the business of the people of the United States. George Santos. Well, he's got new indictments coming down. It appears that Lee Zeldin is entering the race again to take back his old seat, his congressional seat, and maybe we can be rid of George Santos and all his problems. As far as the migrant crisis here in New York, well, here's a new twist to this. The fire department, the FDNY, is going to inspect shelters. And it's been said that some of the shelters may be closed due to fire violations. Either that could be overcrowding, that certain exit doors are blocked, that any one of several things that could happen that will close down these shelters. And then what's Mayor Adams going to do? Speaking of migrant shelters, there is one going up in Riverdale, right in the heart of Riverdale, at 238th Street. And it seems that, Curtis Lewa has been there to fight it, but so has the local elected officials, such as State Senator Gustavo Rivera, who says, I want the shelter. Now, we really didn't hear from either Councilman Eric Dinowitz or his father, Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz. And in case you don't know, you may be seeing Councilman Eric Dinowitz very soon. It appears that Councilman Eric Dinowitz will be coming here to the east side, which is where I'm broadcasting from, to help out his friend Councilwoman Marjorie Velazquez. It appears that outsiders from outside the 13th Council District in the Democratic Party have to come in and help Marjorie Velazquez because it appears the people of the 13th Council District don't want to reelect her. They don't like her. They don't like the upzoning of the Brooklyn Boulevard, upzoning of the food town. They don't like the possibility of having people from Rikers Island in Jacoby Hospital without any jail, any security at all, just somebody sitting at the desk. And these people who are waiting trial or have been convicted of crimes will be free to roam the area. Also, the Metro North will have an upzoning by the Metro North stations, which will bring probably 3,000 apartments, which is what Mayor Adams wants, by the Morris Park Metro Station, and 3,000 apartments at the Parkchester Van Ness Station, which would mean there would be 4,500 apartments coming into Community Board 11 over there, on top of the almost 1,000 that they're already having, which would be, and in the city of Yes, the Mayor Adams has proposed to build 100,000 new apartments, affordable housing, that is, to ease this housing crisis we have. However, if you divide that 100,000, which he wants, by the 59 community boards he wants equally to share, that would come out to about 1,750 new apartments in each community board. So why would Community Board 11 be getting over 5,000 new apartments? And in these apartments, there's going to be no parking regulations. So you're going to build over 5,000 apartments and have no parking regulations when you're going to add at least 5,000 cars, if not more. Now, as I said to Borough President Gibson at the Metro North Parkchester Van Ness Metro information session last week, I said to her, how can this happen? You're going to have all of these buildings and no parking. She agreed that parking is needed, and she agreed that it is a lot of new apartments in one community board. And I said to her that Mayor Hochul, Governor Hochul, had built at the Harrison Metro North Station, which is just a little bit up the line, 143 new apartments that were affordable apartments with a shopping center. And the parking was 150 spots for the housing, 150 spots for the station, and 500 spots for the shopping. There will not be one spot, according to Mayor Adams, for the residents, not one parking spot for the Metro North Station, and not one spot for the shopping that they're supposedly building there. And they are back to step one on this process, because 20 years ago, when Metro North had it, they came and asked, what would you like to see by the station? And I was part of that. And we said that we want to see a nice ice cream store, like a Haagen-Dazs store. We want to see an upscale restaurant, not a McDonald's. Then 10 years later, the MTA took it over, and they started over from scratch, and we said the same things. And now last week, the Metro North has the project again, and they're starting from scratch. So I don't know why we're doing this 3 times in a row from scratch. I mean, these people should know what we want at the stations. We want housing by the stations, yes, but not thousands of apartments. Put only a few, put 100 or 200 apartments like you're doing up in Westchester County. Put parking and put good stores next to the stations. Now, I see some comments here that one of my commenters is saying he can't wait for home cultivation of cannabis. And 6 immature and 6 mature plants are allowed per household. CB 11 needs to be more respectful of our elders. I don't know what happened at last night's meeting. The comment is that they were yelling at 2 senior citizens. I mean, as far as Community Board 11 goes, it has been packed with people who are going to help Councilwoman Marjorie Velazquez on her reelection campaign, which I'll get into a little later. And it's also there for people who are going to help Borough President Gibson in her reelection campaign. I see a comment from Kevin Viola. They are there. You speak about Community District 13 area. Well, Kevin, I've looked at Marjorie Velazquez's campaign finance disclosure statements, again, which I'm going to get into a little later. And Kevin, you donated to Marjorie Velazquez many times, so you're not impartial. So please don't comment anything about Council District 13 Kevin, because you've donated to her. Okay, now let's get on to a little more. And I hate to do this, but when we look at Marjorie Velasquez's 2017 disclosure statements on 11/29/2016, 12/30/2016, and 1/11/2017, donations from Matthew Cruz, who in February 2017 became the district manager of Community Board 10 in an executive session vote, not an open public vote, which is a violation of the open meetings law, while Marjorie Velasquez was a member of Community Board 10 and voted. Also in 2017, J.R. Lynch, Marjorie Velasquez's husband, so her technical married name is Marjorie Velasquez Lynch, was a New York City Department of Transportation assistant commissioner. Various employees donated to Marjorie's campaign from the city, but that is not illegal. However, Navarro Lopez, who was employed as a city of New York administrative staff analysis, donated $175 on 11/20/2016 and $250 on 11/17/2017. Now, remember, the primary was in September of 2017. This same Navarro Lopez later became the Bronx Department of Transportation Commissioner, who now works for Governor Hochul. In 2021, District Manager of Community Board 10, Matt Cruz, again donated twice to Marjorie's campaign, $100 on 1/23/21, $75 on 9/24/21, because $175 is the maximum limit on the amount that can be matched for matching funds, which this year is 8-1. Kevin Diola, as I said, Kevin, made 3 small donations on 1/9/21, 3/11/21, and 9/30/21, as did various community board members, some who may no longer be on Community Board 10. In 2023, I saw Kevin Diola made 2 donations to Marjorie Velasquez. And new Community Board member Stacey Ann DeLeon, who works for the Board of Elections on 5/1/2023, donated $100 and on 5/1/23, and on 6/15/23 donated another $50. Like I said, in September, she was placed on Community Board 11. Also, I might note that Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson on March 6, 2023, donated $100 to Marjorie Velasquez and another $100 on 9/26/23. I'm going to stop here right now because my guest is Marjorie Velasquez's opponent, Christy Maramato. And after we go to a commercial break right now, I will have Christy on. So let me go to a break right now, and I'll be back with Christy Maramato. Can we go to a break, please? Okay, I guess we're not going to a break. So I'm going to read you a little information about doing business with people who are donating, or donations from people who are doing business with the city. Now, it appears that Christy Maramato has no donations from people doing business with the city, while Marjorie Velasquez and all 3 of her campaigns have taken money from people doing business with the city. Now, I'm going to just say Mayor de Blasio in 2017 took a total of $212,429, of which $87,760 had to be refunded. Marjorie Velasquez that year received a total of $6,155, of which $250 had to be refunded. Does this make candidates corrupt? No, but it should be an indication of where the money comes from. Mayor Eric Adams in 2021 received 896 such donations from people doing business with the city, which totaled $440,535, of which $187,645 had to be refunded. Now, again, like I say, does this mean that the person is corrupt or but it's influence to the person? And Mr. Producer, can we go to a commercial now? All right, since I'm not going to a commercial, let me tell you about an event last night. Last night was the Bronx Chamber of Commerce building, business-to-business building, coalition building, networking. This is the sheet. It's on my blog where it was discussed that joined the Bronx Chamber of Commerce, Councilman Marjorie Velazquez with YAMA, TD Bank, New York City Department of Small Business Services for an evening of business-to-business networking and coalition building in the Morris Park section of District 13. Learn from business experts and grow your network. Well, what happened was it seemed to be a political campaign stunt for Councilwoman Velazquez because what happened was she posed with some of the people from YAMA. And let me get that up here. Here's one of the pictures, as you will see. And to Marjorie Velazquez's left is an imam from the organization. Now, here you'll see I have Christy Maramato on, but here you'll see the imam holding what is a campaign piece from Marjorie Velazquez. I was able to get that piece, and he is telling the people at YAMA that they must re-elect Marjorie Velazquez so that they can continue and they can receive funding from her, etc. Well, let me go into Christy Maramato now, because Christy, you've been accused of having Board of Election people giving to your campaign. As I said before, there is nothing wrong with that. Do you want to say something? Because there was an article in the New York Daily News about it. Christy.
Absolutely. I think it's a reach. And it's
raise your voice. Speak louder, please.
Absolutely. It's a reach and it's ridiculous on the current council members' behalf. You know, I took over the county office and hosted a 2-day event to turn the office into my campaign headquarters. I posted this stuff on social media. The word was out. The Board of Elections employees are on a fundraising list used by the Republican Party. I am the Republican candidate. The Board of Election employees are legally allowed to donate to any candidate they choose, Republican or Democrat. They are also allowed to volunteer on any campaign as long as it's not on city time. These allegations are baseless, and they're just a distraction for the people of the 13th district. And this is the exact reason why we deserve better representation than what we're receiving.
Kevin, I see your comments. Kevin, you've donated every time to Marjorie Velazquez's campaign. You cannot be impartial.
And okay? Kevin, I'll send you the link. You maybe make a donation to my campaign.
Well, again, I just want to continue. Last night, there was no person from TD Bank, no person from the Small Business Administration, just a person, Carolyn Jung from Consumer and Worker Protection, of which Marjorie Velazquez just happens to be the chairperson of that city council committee. Now, I asked, who was in charge at that Bronx Chamber of Commerce meeting, because I've covered them in the past. One of the women that was there, Tanisha Hurd, gave me her card. But an interesting note is that Mr. John Benuzio, who is the vice chairman of the board of directors of the Bronx Chamber of Commerce, said to me, "Why am I doing this?" When I asked, I told him what was going on, he says, "Why am I doing this?" And I found out he had just chauffeured Councilwoman Velazquez to the event going on at the Bronx Jewish Center. All right. And he said, "We've been friends for a long time. Why are you doing this? You're going to ruin Marjorie." And I said, "I'm sorry. I am a reporter. I have to do this." And I don't know if it was a threat, but he said, "Make sure you get home safe." Okay. So let's continue with you. Okay. I almost called you Councilwoman Armato. What can I tell you?
So I just feel like any kind of politicking at a Bronx Chamber of Commerce event is improper. So I didn't witness this directly, but people should be able to vote on the issues for a person's track record and because they genuinely feel compelled to vote for that individual, not because of monetary intimidation or favors. It has no place in election. And if this is true and there was mention of this, there should be an immediate investigation.
Well, the imam there were only two speakers. The councilwoman spoke, then this woman from the worker protection, consumer worker protection spoke, and then the imam got up and was holding this piece from Margaret. Oh, we have to vote for her. We have to support her. I mean, that was a total political stunt, and I've never seen that from the Bronx Chamber of Commerce. I mean, have they sold themselves out that cheap to a, but let's interview you, okay?
Like I said, I wasn't there, so I really didn't grasp.
Okay, no. I want to ask you about, what do you think of the Just Home project at Jacoby?
What do I think of the Just
Home? And for disclosure statement, I am a member of the Indian Village Alliance, of which the candidate is also a member of the Indian Village Alliance, and we've been fighting this for the past year and a half at least.
Yes.
So go ahead. Let's hear what you have to say.
This is how I started to get involved in politics, because when they leaked this was not a conversation. As our current council member says, well, let's have conversations about things. This was never a conversation that she had with our community. This was leaked by somebody who had inside information in June. Our council member knew about this in January and was briefed about the topic in February from Jeanette Merrill. So she knew about this all along. There was no conversation to be had. She had a post on her social media saying that she'd like to bring the community to the table for a conversation, that anything pertaining to the Just Home initiative has been wiped off of her social media. And that sends a very loud and clear message to the people of Indian Village, and they need to be aware of that. So
it should be the whole council district as well.
Oh, yes, of course, the whole council district, but don't tell us we'll sit and have a conversation when you're not going to listen to us. This is what the problem is with our current representation. There's no local control. The people in the neighborhood should have more say of what's happening in and around them, whether it pertains to the Just Home, the Bruckner upzoning, the road diet. If we are giving you our input, you should listen to us and fight with us, not against us, or actually wipe your hands of it and act like, oh, well, I'm doing things about it. You're not. Things are not being done about this. I have not seen anything done for the people of Morris Park against this project. It's a failed, flawed project from the beginning.
We have comments coming up about George Santos and what's going on in the world, but the city council does not have any control over that. If you have a question about a local issue, such as a bike lane, as Mr. Kevin Diola probably does not like you because maybe you're, I don't know, are you against bike lanes? I'm getting that impression from Kevin.
That I'm against bike lanes?
Yeah, that's what it seems.
I'm not against bike lanes, but I think that they need to reevaluate the whole road diet as a community. I don't like the inconsistency of where the bike lanes are on Bronxdale and Morris Park. I think it confuses people. I think that since they rolled it out, it's been about a year, and I think they need to revisit that and get input from the community and see if there are traffic issues, because that's what I'm getting a lot of feedback from people in the community. They're having a lot of problems with traffic because of the bike lanes, the one lanes down Morris Park Avenue, the one lane down Van Ness. I'm not saying to get rid of it. I'm not saying to get rid of bike lanes, but I think that we need to revisit it and see what's going to work for our community and make everyone happy.
Okay, as you know, the two Metro North stations are coming into the 13th Council District, Morris Park, where 3,000 apartments want to be built by Mayor Adams, and the Van Ness Parkchester, which the Van Ness part would be in the 13th Council District, which would mean 1,500 more apartments would be built. And in the city of Yes, the mayor has said he wants 100,000 new apartments divided by the 59 council districts. Do you have anything? I know that there was a Van Ness candidates forum where, what was your answer at that candidates forum, by the way?
So I don't have a problem with developing or building. I am okay with it, but it has to fit the neighborhoods. Like I said, more local control. In Bassett Avenue on the Morris Park line, there is nothing back there. Building a couple of buildings back there would be fine because they're not high rises. They're not going to interfere with traffic. In Van Ness, I feel like it will be a little more challenging to build larger apartment buildings when it's already overcrowded. And like they say, let's have the conversation. We're having the conversation that parking needs to be a part of the conversation, whether it's parking in these apartment buildings because of the new residents. Because if you're telling me 3,000 people, 3,000 apartments are coming, I'm going to guarantee you it's going to be about 1,500 new cars. We have to make space for them. Now, also, it's a Metro North station. People are going to come from Westchester because now they have access to Penn Station. Okay, they don't usually have. I think it's Grand Central is what Westchester has access to. So they're going to drive to us and they're going to park the cars. We're already having a problem with parking because of Jacoby Hospital and the employees. So we need to put parking into the equation. And these people are going to come in from Westchester. They're going to look to park, jump on the train, and go to work. Come back. Same thing. Maybe we can have some type of shuttle service where they can park in Orchard Beach, shuttle them to the Metro North, so it'll relieve some of the Westchester and out of the city cars and traffic. I don't know. I just feel like there's more that needs to be done than what our representation is doing for us. And for them to tell us that we need to contact other city council members to get the answers is just absurd. What are you? You're not doing your job. Look, I'm from the real world, and in the real world, if you don't produce, you should get fired. If you're not doing your job and you're not listening to the people, that's a big problem.
Just so I give you a little information about what again, I almost called you councilwoman. What the candidate is saying is that Marjorie Velazquez's answer was that it was my question to both of them. And she said, well, Bob, why don't you go talk to Councilman Salamak and Councilman Riley to find out why no apartments are being built by their stations. Now, you mentioned job. Could you give us, because people are asking, they're saying you're an X-ray technician. What do you exactly do?
So I am a radiologic technologist. I have a 2-year degree and I specialize in mammography, which is women's breast health. And I specialize in bone densitometry. The difference between a technologist and a technician is education and licensures. I hold a couple of licenses in different modalities. I start with women when they come in for their mammogram to have their first procedure, and I make it all the way. And, God forbid they end up with cancer. I kind of trail them throughout the entire experience until they have the cancer removed from them, from breast biopsies to wire localizations before they have their surgeries. I'm along that entire journey with the patient.
Now, we saw that, since we still have the Trump comment up there, we saw that Trump links have been sold to Bally. Bally now owns that golf course and wants to build a casino. What is your opinion of the Bally proposal for a casino where Trump links used to be?
I am 100% opposed to having a casino in my community. It will do nothing but depress our neighborhood. It will not bring anything positive to the Bronx. They're already changing their mind about employee housing, and that's a big red flag. When the first proposal is it will bring housing is coming off of the table because they want to build a 100-room hotel, that's their number one red flag. And I know people are upset, well, it's going to bring jobs and we'd like to build. We can bring jobs any other way. Let's rebuild that waterfront as a beautiful boardwalk. Put some restaurants there. Put stuff that the community can really use, feel safe, and enjoy as families, just residents of Throgs Neck. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful places I've been in the Bronx when it's like dusk and the sun is starting to set and you're in between the two bridges. Let's bring positive things to the area instead of a casino that's going to basically destroy what we have left in this neighborhood.
Now, in the past, on the Democratic side, we've had Jose Rivera, who was the county leader. His son, Joel, was elected to the city council and did a fine job as the council majority leader. We even see Jeffrey Dinowitz, the assemblyman, who criticized Jose Rivera for that. And now Jeffrey Dinowitz has put his son, Eric, in as a councilman. The talk is that your brother is the Bronx Republican Party chair, and your husband is the one of the Bronx or the Bronx Republican commissioner. Have they done anything in your campaign? Especially your husband, who's been accused.
My husband has recused himself in all matters of my campaign. Okay. He has not donated to me. He has not been involved. He stays on the outside of what's happening. My brother is the chairman of my party. He has been there to guide me if I have questions and information. Listen, I know a lot of people think I'm not qualified for the position, and I got to tell you something. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I've raised money. I'm continuing to raise money because people believe in me. And my money that I'm raising is from local residents, not special interest groups. I've gained the support of both the Republican and conservative parties, and I've won, not one, but both of my primaries against two people who have been very active within our community. I'm out there every single day meeting voters, whether it's before work, at the train station, school pickup, just knocking on doors. I'm out there every single day putting the work in, while working a full-time job and taking care of a 7-year-old daughter, okay? I'm also capable of working across party lines and in a team setting. I'm not from the political machine. Yes, my family is related to me and they're involved in politics, but I am not from the political machine. I'm out here from the real world, and I saw a need in the community that there's not proper representation, and that's why I am stepping up. So can we put that to rest about my husband and my brother finally?
Well, let's hope the public does. We're at the end of the show, so I want to thank you for coming on. I invite the councilwoman to come on, Councilwoman Marjorie Velazquez, to answer questions about last night with this Bronx Chamber of Commerce meeting that seemed to have turned into a political event for the councilwoman, but I'm sure that the councilwoman will not come on my show. One of my former co-hosts has told me, yeah, she wants to come on, but I can't believe him because he says a lot of things. Okay?
Maybe Kevin can set that up.
Yeah, I've asked him. He said, well, I'll try, but there's been no answer from him. I just want to mention some upcoming events. As a matter of fact, right now, right down the road from where I am, Assemblyman John Cicaro Jr. is giving out food. He's doing a food drive to give food to the needy. I don't know if there's anything left. He started at, I think, 11:30 a.m. Also, the Jerome Avenue Bid is having their annual festival on the 21st, Saturday the 21st. And Wednesday, the 18th, is going to be again by Assemblyman John Cicaro Jr., a town hall meeting of which I think Councilwoman Marjorie Velazquez is going to be there for photo ops. So that's about the cannabis. We have one legal cannabis dispensary that will be opening once everything is cleared. But we have, according to the captain of the deputy inspector, I should say, the commanding officer of the 49th precinct in the 49th precinct, which covers most of the 13th council district along with the 45th, of which I might say, by the way, in another one here, in this, it says that Councilwoman Velazquez secured over 24 new officers for the 45th and 49th precinct. I'm sorry I didn't get to ask my guest a question about it, but it appears that 30 officers have left the 45th precinct and 21 officers have left the 49th precinct or have been transferred. So we have lost twice as many officers as we've gotten new ones, and they come anyway when there's a graduating class from the police academy. So I'm going to sign off right now and say goodbye to you and thank you for watching. I invite Councilwoman Velazquez to come on and to stand on her record. As I said, let me say goodbye and thank you for watching.
Hi, thank you.
Do you know that there is a publishing company that wants to make life easier for you as a writer? This publishing company is called World Inkers Printing and Publishing. We publish in all different languages, and we're looking for writers of all genres, all formats. We're looking for scholars, ghostwriters, playwrights, poets, short fiction, novelists, you name it. We're looking for anybody who is interested in writing and the craft of writing to be in touch with us. You can reach us at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. With World Inkers Printing and Publishing, you do not require a lot of money to publish with us. Contact us today at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. Become a winner with other authors at World Inkers Printing and Publishing. Give us a shot. We will surely finish you.